Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. Later in the show, we'll learn about the Piestewa Fallen Heroes Memorial with Jim Covarrubias, and I'll chat with Miss Native Mesa Community College, Kadence Sayles, and Miss Native Mesa Community College First Attendant Kaitlyn Yazzie. Mental Health First Aid is a course that teaches how to help someone who is developing or experiencing a mental health problem or crisis. Here to tell us more is Sinetta Lopez, Native Health Behavioral Health Case Manager. Hello, Sinetta, and welcome to our show.
Hello.
And before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Sinetta Lopez. Like you said, I'm the SAPTA Case Manager here for Native Health. I work under the Behavioral Health Department, but I'm in the Substance Abuse Program. I'm Apache from San Carlos, and I am Pomo from Elam in Northern California. I have 3 beautiful girls, and I have been working for behavioral health for about 6 years, and also for residential treatment with substance abuse before I came here to Native Health.
Oh, wow. And kind of talking more about Native Health Behavioral Health Services, can you tell us about the different programs and groups?
Yes, we have right now, well, we're planning on creating more groups, but for right now, we do have our individual counseling, and that's with either behavioral health and substance abuse. We also have IOP, which is our intensive outpatient program. It's a 12-session class, so, it's just more of helping you about processing your addiction. We also provide DUI classes for those that need that as well.
And who is eligible for services?
Anyone is eligible, actually. If you feel, that you have addiction or need any questions or help, that's, everyone's welcome to come and get those services. And
what is the process to receive services?
You can easily just go online at nativehealthphoenix.org, apply on there, register. You can either register online or come in person and get scheduled to see an assessment, and they'll be able to provide you with services that you need, and that's how you can get started.
And what kinds of licenses or certifications do Native Health counselors have?
They normally will have the LAC, MSW, the LMSW. So they're pretty much very licensed to, very equipped to help you with the service that you need.
And I know one of the training that you provide that we're going to talk about more is the mental health first aid training. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, the mental health first aid, it's so important to have, and I'm so honored to be able to become a trainer. But it is basically to identify and understand and respond to signs of mental illness and substance use disorder. It's just for everyone to be able to take this course because it's so important to identify. It could be a coworker, it could be a family, a friend that may be having issues, and you could see the first signs of it and be able to help.
And is this for just health professionals, or who can take this training?
Anyone could take this training. Actually, I encourage everyone to take the training. It's so important these days to notice that a lot of people in the world, and children have certain issues that we may not even know. And to be able to identify it and to approach them, listen, and then also help with giving resources and encouragement, just to know that you're there for them and getting them the right help that they need.
And how long is the training?
The training would be up to 12 hours. Usually it's like a 2-day, so it splits up in 2 days. But it's great. It could be in person and it can be online.
Is there a certificate or kind of course credit that you get at the end of the training?
Yes, there is. They will provide you a certificate after completing the classes. And this is great to have, especially if you're working for a company and your company decides to have the employees come in and have a whole class. You're able to sit in and you're able to help out with assisting in, the class being taught. And it does add on for your points through class. I believe that on the website, they do give you information on how to add that to any college courses that you're taking.
And why do you think it is important for individuals to take part in this training?
Exactly what I said before. It's just identifying. It doesn't have to be a patient or a client or anyone in that sort. It could just, like I said, be a friend, a family member. I know here at Native Health, we do have patients that come in and out, and, just being able to identify that this person is in need of help. A lot of people just want to be heard and want to be listened to. And if they're not getting that, they can either harm themselves or just isolate, and that's even more dangerous.
And in the training, is there going to be resources provided if you do find yourself in that situation of finding somebody and knowing where to lead them to get services?
Yes, there definitely will be. They will provide you resources within your local community. And I know here in Phoenix, we have the 988 crisis number, but they do make sure that you do have the appropriate information. And if you don't, you're at least the one to walk with them to the clinic or to see a counselor and say, I'll walk with you. And, if you're not able to give them the numbers and have every resource in hand, maybe you may know someone. All you basically are is just someone assisting. You're just assisting. You're not giving counseling. You're not the one doing the procedure. All you're doing is just saying, you seem like you need some help. You need someone to talk to. I'll walk with you. I'll call for you, whatever you need, but I'm going to be here. And that's mainly what it is. It's about providing encouragement and just letting them know that you are not alone.
And you mentioned the 988 crisis hotline. Can you tell us more about that?
This is a crisis line that was created for many situations that we have. It's 24-hour. It's always someone that you can call. It's either you need a crisis situation with housing or a safe place to be, or even someone to talk to. And they also provide more resources as well. When you call 988 and maybe it's a certain situation that they have resources for another person to handle even better. But they are great. They work every time. It's always been, and it's so easy to just dial that number. It's important in the community to have that.
Oh, yes, definitely. And do you have any advice for individuals who want to maintain a healthy mental health? Are there any tips like self-care or any advice you would give to our listeners?
I definitely believe self-care is number one. A lot of times we can get very busy in our lives with children and work and school that we don't really take the time out to see that we need some, attention. And it's okay. It's okay to be that way. It's okay to do the little things, whether it's, going for a hike, going for a walk, hanging out with your, friends, or, just going to get yourself a haircut. It's so simple to take some time out for yourself. And talking to people, anytime that you feel that you need someone to listen to you, that's always important too. It's not good to hold things in. It's very good to make sure that you're getting the help and you have friends. And but if anything, to go any further, coming to Native Health or and provide and getting into our services also can be a great help for you too.
And how can our listeners find more information about the mental health first aid training?
If you would go online to www.mentalhealthfirstaid.org, they have information there for you. They have classes that you can sign up for, and it's they kind of go with your time. So, it doesn't have to be, it could be any other day. They have plenty of days, plenty of times online to make it easier for you, easy access to get onto the training.
And for those that want to learn more about Native Health's Behavioral Health Department, how can they learn more?
Again, going online to nativehealthphoenix.org. Under behavioral health, we have our services there listed. Also, we have numbers too that you can call in and ask more questions if you need more answers, and we'll be so gladly to help. I mean, we encourage the community to just make that call. We're here, and we're here to help and make sure that we provide the best service we can.
And are the behavioral health services provided at all 3 Native Health locations?
Yes, they are provided there. For the substance abuse, it's only here in Phoenix at the central office for now. So for those services, it would be just coming here to Native Health and Central. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Well, I would like to thank you, Sinetta, for coming in today to tell us more about the behavioral health services that we offer at Native Health, and also giving us more information about the mental health first aid training and giving us some great advice as well to keep our mental health healthy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Coming up, we'll learn about the Piestewa Fallen Heroes Memorial with Jim Covarrubias. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix: 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org. Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. The Piestewa Memorial for the Fallen honors U.S. Army PFC Lori Piestewa, who was killed in action on March 23rd of 2003 in Iraq. She was the first Native American woman to be killed in action while serving with U.S. Armed Forces. The event honors all those who have fallen, as well as their families. On the phone to tell us some more about this is Jim Covarrubias, chairman of the Piestewa Fallen Heroes Memorial. Hello, Jim, and it's an honor to have you on our show today.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to talk to you about this.
Absolutely. And before we get started, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm from Kingman, Arizona. Grew up there. Went to ASU, became an artist, and I've worked as an artist in the Valley ever since. I'm also an Army veteran.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for serving our country, Jim. And can you tell us how you got involved in the Piestewa Memorial for the Fallen?
Sure. I heard the tragic news about Lori, and I went to the first service that they had downtown Phoenix and Patriot Park. And Keith Sokola and I decided to go up on stage and do something special. He played the guitar, and I did a painting. And I've done a painting for them ever since, every year for 20 years.
And can you give us an overview of the Piestewa Memorial?
It is a unique ceremony that takes place at Piestewa Park each year on March 23rd, the day that Lori was killed in Fallujah, Iraq. And it honors all the veterans, like you say, who we lost during that year and the previous years. So it's a very sacred ceremony. It's a beautiful location. We bring in people who each year have helped us honor by their providing their gifts, be it music or art. And we bring in the honor guards from different posts around Arizona and the nation. And we also bring in the people who were involved with Lori in Fallujah, the POWs, and we bring in also the hierarchy of the different nations here in Arizona, the royal princesses, etc. So it really is a beautiful, holistic ceremony. Everybody's invited, and it takes place right there at sunrise at the park on March 23rd.
And for those that aren't familiar with Piestewa Park, where is that located?
It's off of Lincoln and 22nd Street. So as you're driving down Lincoln, and Glendale turns into Lincoln as you're heading east. So as you go up to you'll see the signs in the park and go into the park. There's no charge. It's a beautiful location if you've never been. And during the non-event times, it's a great park to go and hike, etc. And it is a sacred mountain for the Native women back in the day, as told to me by my cousin, who was a medicine man. So it's in keeping with the history of it, too, the Native American history.
And do you know which Native American nation Lori Piestewa belonged to?
Yes, it's a little varied. Her mother is Hispanic from the Baca family, and her father is Hopi. And she was married to a Dene, a Navajo, so she encompasses three different cultures, the Navajo, the Hopi, and the Hispanic.
And were there additional military veterans in her family?
There were, and tragically, her great-uncle was killed in the Pacific by a sniper just before the war was over, and her grandfather also served. And her father served. Her grandfather served in World War II, and so did her great uncle. And her father served in Vietnam, Terry Piestewa. So quite a lineage of warriors there in her family, and of course back in the Native days too.
And so the memorial is named after Lori Piestewa, and now it continues to honor other fallen heroes as well.
Yeah, tragically, we do lose soldiers every year, and the families want to honor their daughter or their sons who have been killed in combat. And it helps them, I think, in a very important way to mend and to grieve and to discover other commonalities with families who had this tragic loss. So we realize that it's important for people, and we realize that that's one of the reasons we want to continue it. Lori's history is part of the history of the Native American, too, that has really, I think, surfaced as a result of these ceremonies. So there's a lot of good that's come about it, and a lot of healing that's come about it. And each year, we are joined with, sadly, new people who want to come and honor their daughter or their son who they've tragically lost. So it's an American saga. It's a story that continues. And I think that's why it's important. It's important for all of us to take a moment and realize that freedom's not free. You know, that the country depends on people protecting us in faraway places. So it continues, and it probably will continue for quite a few generations. So we're proud to be part of it.
Oh, yes, definitely. And you said that there were other soldiers captured with Lori. Are you in contact with them as well?
Yeah, and they do show up each year to help, honor. It was, I think, an amazing bonding that went on. And at first, I think it was very difficult for them to come in and start sharing all that. But as time has gone on, we realize that, this has been important to all of us. And there is, I'm looking for that list right now. The name was Jessica Lynch and Lori served together in training and when they first went in the military. And then when they were ambushed, their unit, the 507th Transportation, included Edgar Hernandez, Shoshana Johnson, Patrick Miller, and Joe Hudson, who were also captured after a valiant fight. And they were rescued by Special Forces on April 1st in Fallujah. And they do come every year. Some of them have more of a difficult time dealing with it, but I think it helps them out too. It's a painful memory, to keep going back over your military part. But I think that they've really showed that they truly were a family, and they are a family. And Mrs. Piestewa has kind of adopted them all. So they realize that, we are their family. We are their family here. And we love each other. I think that's the important part, too.
And can you kind of elaborate why are the sacrifices of our fallen heroes, their families, and our veterans so critically important to us and the nation?
Many things separate us, and there are issues in the world that we have to take a side on. But one of the things that shouldn't separate us is the sacrifice of our military people. And I think that is the important part, is that we don't want to see this happen, but when it does happen, we have to acknowledge it, and we have to share their grief, and we have to share a place where they can heal. So it has become, I think, a very important part for many people, especially here in Arizona and throughout the United States. And I think that this is a ceremony that could be used by other different parts of the country. And I think that it is important because it is non-political. It encompasses just the idea of serving a country. And when you serve the country, we see them as soldiers, we see them as tough people, we see them as people doing their duty, but there is a family there. There's brothers and sisters and cousins and friends that they grew up with. And when they do put on that uniform, they take an oath to protect and defend our nation. And that's what they're doing. We don't think about it. Veterans maybe think about it a little bit more, but we don't really need to think about it because they're out there doing their job. But we realize that job that they're doing is for all of us. It's for all Americans. And we're especially proud of all the Native Americans who have served disproportionately. We serve in higher percentages according to our population than any other group in America. And it's mainly on a volunteer basis. So, and especially now, it's all volunteer military. And tragically, the Navajo Nation has lost more of their sons and daughters than any other ethnic group in the United States. So we have 21 nations in Arizona, and most of them have a history of providing soldiers in this patriotic way.
Oh, wow. And Jim, can you remind us again what date the memorial is and where people can attend?
Sure. It's going to be March 23rd at Piestewa Park, which is on 22nd Street in Lincoln, and everyone's invited. It is at sunrise, about 6:30 a.m., and we provide breakfast, and it is a very unique ceremony. We invite everybody to come and take part in this and share. And I think that once you do, you realize that this is very special. It began with Lori Piestewa, and we had the name changed to Piestewa Peak. So it is a story of Native American influence and patriotic influence, and a great story of America, and we're very proud of it.
And finally, how can our listeners find more information about the memorial, and how can they contact you if they have further questions?
I'm on Facebook, Jim Covarrubias, and also they can go to the Piestewa Fallen Heroes Memorial on Facebook. And my cell number is 602-579-6308. And I am the chairman for the Piestewa Ceremony for the Fallen. And we do invite people to come to us with questions if they have them, come to the ceremony, and realize that this is for them. It's for all Americans, and we definitely welcome them. And contact me if you need more information. I'd be happy to share.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you, Jim, for coming on air with us today to tell us more about the Lori Piestewa Memorial coming up on March 23rd, and also sharing the importance about fallen heroes, their families, and our veterans.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on.
Up next, I'll chat with Miss Native Mesa Community College, Cadence Sayles, and Miss Native Mesa Community College First Attendant Kaitlyn Yazzie. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health's patient enrollment specialist can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone, or Zoom, days, nights, or weekends. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your health care coverage. For more information, call 602-285-9492. Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. Miss Native Mesa Community College and Miss Native Mesa Community College First Attendant serves as Native American student ambassadors, engaging with and representing Indigenous communities and promoting the many opportunities at the Mesa Community College. In the studio with me are Miss Native Mesa Community College Cadence Sayles and Miss Native Mesa Community College First Attendant Kaitlyn Yazzie. Welcome, you guys, to the show. And before we get started, can you both tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Of course, yes. Thank you for having us. We're so glad to be here. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm the Miss. My name's Cadence Sayles. And then, I'll go ahead and introduce myself in my native language of Yavapai. Mahamja Gimuja Nyamola Cadence Sayles, Niadala Kirby Sayles, Nyakwef Kapaya Kwatkiala Abaja Nyamacha. Hello, my name is Cadence Sayles. I am come from the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, located in central Arizona. I am also part Sioux, and I come from San Carlos as well. This is my first year at MCC, and I'm the 2023-2024 Miss Native Mesa Community College. I'm studying creative writing and hopes to be a scriptwriter for entertainment such as TV shows, movies, to better reflect our people. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. It's a pleasure to have you, Cadence.
Hello, Yate. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Yate Sha'e Kaitlyn Yazzie Inishia, Toiglini Nishle, Torachini Bashashin, Torachini Dashache, Nanis Kachini Dashanele, Akotego A Danatson Inishle. So hello, my name is Kaitlyn Yazzie. I am 19 years old. This is my second year at Mesa Community College, and I am studying fashion design, and I hope to be a fashion designer in either a luxury brand or just my own little brand on the side. And being able to represent Indigenous women and people within the fashion industry.
Well, that's awesome. It's a pleasure to have you, Kaitlyn. And to start off, how has your cultural identity shaped who you are today?
My cultural identity, I've honestly struggled with throughout my life. I think the more recent events that I've been able to participate in, where I've been able to reflect actually like who I am as a person, as an Indigenous woman, have been in my later years of high school. So in my senior year, I took on the role of secretary at Mountain View High School, the high school that I graduated from, class of 2023 there. So last year, I was the secretary over there for our Native Club. So I was able to be linked as well with the Youth Council of Mesa Strength Youth Council, which is, a group part of the Mesa Public Schools District. And we got to fundraise, and we got to do a lot and be associated with other Native kids who I was close with at the time, but I got to get closer with by getting to attend the 2023 Unity Conference in Washington, D.C. And then before that, I attended NICALC, a convention that was in West Virginia talking about Native people and how we can strengthen our connection with the land issues that we got going on. So I attended that for a week, and then I attended Unity. But that was the first time that I've really ever met so many Native kids who come from so many different areas. And so I think that really inspired me to reflect where I come from here in Fort McDowell, to not only on an educational level of being in higher education at MCC, but being part of royalty now, which has been such an experience. But I think being able to grow to know more about my culture, because I think it's linked with my dad, who I reside with as well. It's just us two. So I think like us connecting better through me wanting to grow and wanting to explore more is where my pathway, I hope, will continue to go.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
I grew up in and out of the reservation, so I think my cultural identity has become more and more impacted on both sides. I grew up traditional and a little bit more traditional, but also with church as well. So I think I have a good balance between seeing life from both sides. And yeah, I have 6 sisters, so I am kind of like like the trailblazer for everyone, and I think my cultural identity just kind of bleeds into them and making sure that they know who they are and where they come from.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And it's amazing to hear how you guys both have really different journeys on the way, but you both were able to kind of find your cultural identity in both of your journeys so far. But kind of starting off with the basics, going into your royalty as MCC, can you guys tell us how you got interested in competing for the Miss Native MCC royalty?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so yeah, this is my first year at MCC. I started in the fall semester last year, 2023, and I also, being inspired to be in these Native spaces, I wanted to be a part of the ISO group that we have on campus, Intertribal Student Organization, which is the Native club we have with so many different students from so many different places. And the head of the Miss Native Mesa Community College campaign, who was helping plan the event, Lahua Lani Dasala, a great friend of ours, she inspired not only Kaitlyn, but the group to, I think it was sort of a moment of euphoria for me, because everyone was like, oh, we need more people. Who should we elect? And they were all like, Kadence. And I had a hard time like seeing where I fit within the group and seeing my own like perception of myself. So seeing that and seeing how much people wanted me to run really inspired me. So just pure collaboration of being able to take on this role, but also taking it on because I know my father, he's first generation, and so that would make me second generation for our family. He also attended MCC, and I wanted to make a name for myself, not only for my family, that struggles from so much, but something that I can do, that I can pursue and continue to keep doing. So, that's me.
That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Kadence and Kaitlyn.
So I am a part of the Intertribal Student Organization, so this is my second year. But I am also a student senator for the Intertribal Student Organization. But yeah, Lehua Lani Dasala, she was like, oh, Kaitlyn, we're bringing back Miss Native. I think you should try out. I think you'll do really good in the competition. I was like, oh, okay. So I was the first one to put in my application and complete everything. But yeah, I think she was really like a good inspiration for me, because she also does pageants, and she's also running for Miss World this year.
Oh, wow.
in Albuquerque. But yeah, I think also my grandma on my dad's side was also Miss Navajo Nation, so I think it's just kind of a little bit in my blood to do it. But yeah, I think a little pageants here and there that I've done also influenced me and being able to put myself out there.
Wow, that's so amazing. And kind of holding these titles, why is it important to you guys?
It's important for me to take on this role, not only as Miss Native, like in a pageant sense, but in the sense that, I'm here in higher education and representing my family and where I come from. I come from the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, which is a small tribe, and we only have so many people there, and we face a lot of conflict. But I think after the results came for the Miss Native pageantry, when we competed against each other for the crown, I got the criticism of it's so important that you shared the story of where you're from, because my great grandfather, Mr. Hood, he was one of the trailblazers for the conflicts that were going on with Orm Dam, and so he shared more about the Orm Dam conflict and why we celebrate it in the Orm Dam Victory Days, and the fight against the government that my great grandfather was holding out against. And we call him our grandfather just because he's very important to us and our family, and it's just very reflective of where not only I come from, but our place in it. So I think I've never considered running for royalty or any pageants before, so this is a new step for me. Now I'm even considering running for more royalty roles. But I think really standing up for not only who I am, but where I come from and my people, my family, I think is important to me, in sharing, so little kids who are out there don't feel that sort of alienation that I felt at the time. So
yes, definitely. And you'll definitely inspire younger generations as well to follow in that path as well. And Kaitlyn?
Holding this title is important because I have 6 sisters at home, and I'm the oldest. So I literally did everything, and whatever I do, they follow, and I hope that this they follow in my footsteps and be able to do royalty stuff if they want to, but if they don't want to, of course it's a fine. But yeah, I think I just am always feels like I'm a big sister to everyone that I meet, or every younger kid that I meet. So I feel like in this position I'm able to inspire other little kids, little girls especially, and show them that it's okay to be who you are, and whatever you put your mind to, that you can do it, and just don't quit.
Oh, yes, definitely. And what do you guys hope to accomplish during your reign?
Something I hope to accomplish is obviously reflecting our platforms that we've chosen. So I'll go ahead and say my platform of identifying missing and murdered Indigenous women and Two-Spirit people. I think being able to grow into that title as well. I think ever since I decided to represent them and, us as people, I've received so much love from a community I thought once, I don't want to say I felt conflicted from, but you only have, I feel for me, I like how Kaitlyn was saying we have these two worlds. I think I feel that as well, because my entire life I've felt conflicted of the Native side of me and what they think, but also the queer side of me, because I identify as lesbian, but also I identify as Two-Spirit. So it's something that I'm still going into, but that, not pressure, but encouragement from people to identify as Indigenous queer, those, the connection of both communities that I reside in. I think being able to grow in this platform, but so just reflecting those, because I'm very, obviously it's also in my blood to go on and protest what I believe in and everything that I'm interested in. So that's more about me and what this title means to me. So it means a lot to be here in higher education and running for royalty.
Wow, definitely. And Kaitlyn?
Some things I hope to accomplish is also with my platform. I go ahead and say mine. It's encouraging Indigenous representation within the fashion industry and media. So I hope we both hope to have a May event, hopefully in May, to bring awareness to both of our platforms, which an idea was a fashion show. And so, I think I'm getting my plans together, my little creative brain together to hold a fashion show at MCC. So hopefully in the coming months you see a little bit of advertisement for that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And kind of talking about missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit, can you tell us more about that?
it's like a facet of my platform that I have going on, and I felt inspired to go ahead and choose that topic for what I want to represent because, you know, as Native women, we're told our whole lives to be careful, or we have these certain boundaries that we have to respect, or we have certain rights and privileges, but we also lack those same very things because of like what we are and what we represent. Like, we can't take away who we are as people. And I wanted to represent Two-Spirit people within that group as well because so many times, because of this cultural washing of they don't want to accept, us as Native people don't want to accept that they are a part of our actual history. And Two-Spirit people on their own have trouble like finding out who they are. And it's something that I'm currently like trying to figure out in my own journey. So I think it's important that we include them in the conversation too, because they are just as much affected as we are. And I think I'm glad that we're having more representation of this epidemic that we've been struggling with for so long, because it's still ongoing. It's very much an issue that our siblings, our sisters, our aunties, they keep, it's just nothing's going to happen if we don't stop it from happening.
That is very true. And do you think there has been more awareness on this topic in the past few years?
Yeah, I think there definitely has. I feel conflicted, honestly, part of who's representing us, but also I feel glad that the word's getting out, because I know the perspective of it all can seem very different to some people because they don't understand. They haven't seen it firsthand, and it's all different for everyone and their relationship to it. But I think we definitely have, like, I can name, like, a couple different, like, media shows because I'm very involved in, media, like TV shows and movies, and I think we, like, more recently, 2023, 2024, we have been receiving so many representation because we've, like, started this epidemic. Like, as Indigenous people, we've definitely been going out there and putting our voice out there onto what matters in the topics that reflect our own communities, and missing and murdered Indigenous people in Two-Spirit are definitely one of those.
Yes, definitely. And for our listeners who are not familiar with it, can you tell us what Two-Spirit means?
Yeah, so Two-Spirit it means something different to everyone because, it's just a reflection of, like, self-identity and self-awareness. But in most cases, Two-Spirit is when one person doesn't feel like they belong to a certain community, or they don't feel like they're either a man or a woman, or they don't identify with both of those terms at the same time. So us as Indigenous people, we have our own term called Two-Spirit, which is also relying on the queer community of lesbian, gay, transgender, the LGBTQ plus community. And so that's also a facet of that community. So I think it really just depends on, like, who is representing as themselves. But that's really, where that term comes from. But I think also indigiqueer, something that I represent as, is another facet of the Two-Spirit identity of where, you feel like you don't feel like you're attracted to the opposite gender or something beyond that. Mm-hmm. So it really just means something to everyone else, but it is a facet of the LGBTQ plus community space. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Kadence, for sharing all this great information about your platform. And kind of going over to Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn, do you think there is inclusion and Indigenous representation in media and fashion?
Yes, I think in the coming years or like months there has been, but not enough actually. So I think with Lily Gladstone's winning her Golden Globe is making that a light in the media. And then also in fashion, I think Quanah Chasing Horse is also a good trailblazer to follow, and their representation within the fashion industry is really good, but I think there needs to be a lot more. So by being in this position, I think I have been able to be Indigenous representation within the fashion industry with a couple events that I have done and modeling stuff I've done. But yeah, I think it's going to increase in the coming years.
Oh, yes, definitely, especially with mainstream media, because you have, like, the new, like, the Netflix series, Fry Bread, Face and Me, and then the Hulu think it's Hulu with Res Dogs too. So yeah, it's definitely increasing in media. So what events do you guys have coming up for the Mesa Community College?
Coming this week while we're recording this is our powwow, and we're really excited for that. That's March 9th. But I think that's our biggest event coming up. And then, like I said, our May event is coming up for our platforms and our Miss Native event of that.
And you guys know about the MCC Youth Mentorship Gourd Dance that's coming up in April?
No, I guess we do not. I know we're affiliated with the Hoop of Learning that we have going on over at the campus, which they'll also be collaborating with over at the powwow. But yeah, we're very involved with the Hoop of Learning program that they have, where the high school students come to the college, and I'm sure that they're planning their own events going on. So yeah, we're excited. We're honestly like so booked and busy.
We
like
are so booked.
like we're really focused on this month.
We've had like 4 events this past week.
Oh wow!
And like everything, literally every day. But yeah,
that's awesome. And then you guys have hopefully a new exciting event coming up in May.
Yeah,
that's perfect. That's amazing. We'll definitely keep up and try to follow that event. So for kind of going into advice for younger people, or maybe just somebody at the college now that is maybe interested in wanting to compete for Miss Native MCC royalty, what advice would you guys give them?
Some advice that I would give to anyone who's considering even running for the Miss Native MCC platform. I think we've gone to a lot of junior high and Mesa High, anything affiliated within that, like younger kids who are younger than us. And we've been talking about our platforms. And the thing I keep saying is that like I never pictured myself like in a royalty platform. And if like you don't even have to compete something that's within your tribe, because I know so many of our kids out here are so far away from their homelands, and it's hard for them to feel connected to any sort of thing that's, you know, back home. But being out here, you can reclaim something that can be your own. So even if you're thinking about it, I feel like you should just go for it. If you're looking to be involved, I was personally already involved in like majority of the events that were going on in the Indigenous community. So I felt like, I could just take on this title and then it would go all fine and dandy, which it has been. So I think just going for it, even if you don't think that you're connected to anything, you can be connected to this. So, yeah.
Right. And Kaitlyn?
I would say just do it. If you have like a little bit of a thought about, should I do it? Then just go with your first gut feeling, and whether or not you get the crown or not, like you're still gonna get to be able to promote your platform and go to events, and you still get a little bit of recognition and I guess publicity, and it really teaches you a lot of how to public speak and be able to network with other people. But yeah, I would say just do it. It's fun, and you get to see who you really are and what you like and what you don't like.
And finally, how can our listeners find more information about your schedules, and how can they contact either one of you?
So yeah, we are the Miss Native MCC Corps here on campus. So we're just the Indigenous outreachers to higher education, representing that. So we have an Instagram, but we also have an email. Our Instagram is at Miss Native MCC, and then our email is going to be missnativemcc@mesacc.edu. So that's really where you can reach us. We set these up this year
to bring literally like last week though.
To bring the title back. Ever since COVID. So we're taking that initiative upon ourselves, but that'll still keep living beyond us and towards the pageant throughout this November that's going to be going on. But we're also affiliated with the American Indian Institute with our advisors Talia White and Leora Lorraine Smith. over at their Instagram is at Mesa CCAII, and then they have their email listed there as well. But then we're also affiliated as well with the Inner Travel Student Organization, which is the club, and they hold a lot of the events that we're collaborating with. So I think it'd be a good opportunity to go out and reach out to them over at their Instagram at ISO. Yeah. Over on their Instagram at innertribal_MCC. Sorry, I mixed it up. But then their email is iso@mesacc.edu. And all of our stuff is on the website at Mesa Community College as well. So just look for all the resources that are available to you as Indigenous people over at, for the upcoming semesters for Mesa Community College. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. We'll definitely check that out and look for your May event as well. But would like to thank you both, Kadence and Kaitlyn, for coming in today to share all this amazing information about your platform and also giving us advice for other youth who are interested in competing for this title as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. This was such a great experience to get on to podcasting.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, supported by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. Audio editing by Javier Quiroga, and the executive producer is Susan Levy. And I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. We hope you tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please email us at nativetalkaz@radiophoenix.org.